County, yeah.
There, look at that. That's my grandson.
Oh, is he cute? Little Griffin? Did he go trick-or-treating?
Wow, he is a cutie.
Oh, God, is he cute?
Yeah. Then I got this one of them in a pumpkin.
Look at that, Johnny. See him?
He won't fit in there for long.
Okay, this is
That's him in that and sitting in my office chair.
Oh, is he cute?
Sharon went to a costume party. I didn't go, and she went to one, and she was carrying him around in this monkey costume, and she was like a woman with the togas and all of that stuff like that. And she said, where she was there about an hour, and about a lady come up to her and looked at her. She goes, "That's a real baby." She was wondering how you were making that move.
And then mom says, "That's okay, my name's Kevin, on my way to a Halloween party."
Okay, guys, we're on. Guys, we're live.
Doesn't that look like a monkey?
Get a big whip one.
Oh, yeah.
And then go over the road.
What time you got now?
Time to go.
Time to go.
Time to go?
6 o'clock.
Talk these animals.
So if they ever put a lift on the road,
There's a dog.
then
He wants to come in, he says,
well, if they ever put another.
what have you done? He says, like,
Yeah.
obedience.
We're live.
I
I take it seriously, and I did really well, and
Ready to go, guys? Everybody got their mics up?
Yep. Joe.
Yep.
Go. Joe's hiding behind the.
Voting.
Joe.
Vernon-Town Board of Supervisors meeting for November 1st, 2018, 6 p.m. Call to order. All rise for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Open meetings law compliance.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon-Town Hall to the media, to businesses within the town of Vernon, and on the town of Vernon website. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Roll call.
Chairman Thomas Byrd.
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wilde.
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline.
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig. Mr. Chairman, note for record, you do have a quorum of your board. Supervisor Jeff Millies is absent, and DPW Director John Henneberry is here.
All right.
Yay.
Item 5, possible closed session. Town board may convene to a closed session under Wisconsin statute 19.85, Pren 1, Pren G, conferring with legal counsel, the governing body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is likely to become involved. More specifically, the Lucklow Lent annexation unanimously approved by the Village of Big Bend, and 19.85 Pren 1 Pren E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. More specifically, negotiating for the Village of Big Bend or Village of McGuanago border agreement with the town of Vernon, and 19.85 Pren 1 Pren C, considering employment promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction, or exercises responsibility, specifically the review of the clerk-treasurer 2019 contract. Included into the closed session will be town board members, town clerk, with the town attorney available by telephone if needed. The motion will require a roll call vote. Okay. Public comments, are there any public comments? Any public comments? Any public comments? Let the record show there are no public comments at the beginning of the meeting. Miscellaneous matters. Following matters will be discussed and possible action taken by the town board unless otherwise noted. Item A. What I'd like to do before we start the miscellaneous matters, gentlemen, is we have some people here in regards to Ripplebrook East subdivision. Instead of letting that go till the end, that may be an hour, hour and a half till we get through with all of this. We'll just take that out of order and we'll start with item A, and then we'll go down to item M. Any objections?
Nope.
Okay, let's start with item A. Request to extend the Harvest View Developers Agreement, Chairman. We've got the paperwork here from Froth. Increased the credit to $64,100. Any comments by the board members?
Nope.
Any comments by?
Nope.
Jim, I did send that to you, didn't I?
You did.
Okay.
Okay, this is pretty much, this is the same one as the last one. All we did was change the numbers in it. So, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the request for modification of Harvest View subdivision developer agreement with the modification of the letter of credit being increased to $64,100 and extended for the period of time requested.
One second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
That's it, Jim.
Yep, if you could send me the agreement, then
Yep.
I can send it to BMO for
Okay.
the letter of credit update.
I'll send it to you tomorrow. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Thank
Jim.
you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take item M here. Ripplebrook East subdivision. Supervisor for Bill, do you want to give us a little breakdown on that?
Sure.
And are there people in the audience here that would like to come up and speak to the board?
Well, whenever you got.
Yeah, we can relax the rules here, gentlemen, and you come up here and
You want to talk to them?
listen.
Betty, you want to go? We can
Joe Peters from West 224, South 9530 Big Bend Drive. The subdivision that they're putting in, they've already got one in that's called Ripplebrook West. Put in without any, what I call retention ponds or anything. Everything runs into the creek. The creek happens to run through my property. And it ends at a culvert under 164, which to me is way undersized. And I get backup. And now if they're gonna put in another 16 homes, I'm concerned about where all the water's gonna go. And we went to the village meeting, Mr. Spiza, who's the developer, said he's gonna do plenty of retention ponds, do this and do that, but is he gonna do it or not, we don't know. And if he don't, then we're gonna be in trouble with drainage. And I don't know if that's...
So you already have a problem with the existing subdivision that's there?
The culvert, the one thing that's odd is that with the town has got a 36-inch culvert going under Henneberry. That's just almost the headwaters of the creek. And a 30 down by where I am. So it goes from a 36 to a 30 instead of going the other way around. And the counties don't want to do anything about it. The state don't want to do anything about it. And I know Big Ben ain't going to do anything about it. But that's our main concern is whether he's going to do it if somebody could come in. The DNR don't seem to be involved, or nobody seems to really care what they do. They got it by putting into one subdivision, And so far, I've done, a couple of my boys who work construction, and all the subdivisions that are put in have a retention pond of some sort. And that Ripplebrook West didn't, so if he didn't put it in that one, what makes him think he's gonna put it in the other one? So I know you have no jurisdiction over the building, but.
Well, this has come, Bill had brought this to us. It has been on our agenda about a month ago or 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
3 meetings.
And as a board, we asked Bill, do we have any type of a plat or any type of, to look at or whatever, and it was all just, so did this just come about that there was this drawing was, did they have some type of a meeting or?
Yeah, they've got a drawing of it there,
But did they have like a,
Subdivision
Don't-
plat.
It's just a subdivision plat, it don't show,
Primary.
don't show where the retention pond is, or don't show how big it's gonna be, or what it's gonna be.
but you said, ma'am, there was a preliminary, this is the preliminary then?
Preliminary,
Okay.
yeah, that's,
So did they have a public hearing?
yeah.
No.
Huh?
Only in the preliminary.
Yeah, just on the preliminary, they didn't have anything on the final.
Okay.
They were giving him basically permission to build on to go on.
And you're wondering what's gonna happen with, the retention pond,
Yeah,
correct?
with-
Okay.
Where the water's gonna go, because right now, like I say, the 5 homes that they put in there, in 13 acres, they put in 5 homes in there. Looks like there's gonna be 8 altogether. And that runoff goes into the creek. So that's gonna be a problem in itself. But then if you add another 16 homes onto it, and he's gonna run it all into the creek, then it,
And all these homes are built up high, and they put in how much sand?
you know, they're building the homes on the one that's in there now, they're building them on grade. They set the base on right on grade and build up around it. They're filling in with sand.
Bill, is there an area designated specifically for a retention pond on these 16, proposed home sites?
That's what's strange. We're ready for a third hearing and there isn't even a preliminary site for a retention pond. And I was at a hearing, wow, that had to be a year or better ago. I don't remember if the two of you were there or not. When he first came in, he had nothing, no drawings at all. And the question came up about drainage runoff. And I remember their planner saying directly to him, I'm gonna wanna see some kind of drainage plan. And that's what it died. Next I know they had this other hearing you guys were at. And then they were gonna have it, it was on the board agenda. Karen found out today that was canceled off the village board agenda today. So there's been no even preliminary retention ponds. You look at this thing as close as you can, there's not even a drainage pattern. I ran a topo map for everybody. Peterson's fortunately had a good copy. Karen ran that off earlier today. And that topo map will show you that what they call Birch Court on this 16 lot plat here, almost right in the center of Birch Court is the highest elevation. I think it's 218, something like that. And that elevation drops approximately 26 feet going south to the Petersons, going west to 164, and even going northwest. So there's a drop there of about 16 to 18 feet, just as the grade sits now. Now you figure there's high groundwater there because every one of those new homes to the north of there is up out of the ground 4 to 6 feet because of high groundwater. So now you take the 26-foot elevation drop already, you kick the foundation another 6 to 8 feet out of the ground, you've got those rooftops at 25 to 30 feet dumping runoff like crazy. Where's that water going to go? And there's no proposal to do anything with the existing creek. It's just unbelievable. that they're even looking at a preliminary of this thing without a drainage plan.
We know if Big Ben is under stormwater. They are.
They have to file a stormwater management plan just like we do.
So they have to.
How do you believe this?
Do they have to submit a stormwater plan to the county
Just
like
we do.
anybody else does? Well, who's gonna determine that, make the determination?
Very good question. And that's why I was surprised when I heard the planner way back, like I said, almost a year ago, when he stood up there with nothing in writing at all. And people couldn't even ask intelligent questions, they had nothing to look at. And the planner specifically said she's gonna wanna see some kind of drainage plan, possibly retention ponds, before it goes into the river Arbor.
Yeah, getting ready to.
Up for board approval tonight or discussion, a village board, serious discussion, and there still is no reference to grading there. Drainage or not.
Anyone spoke to DNR about this?
DNR sent it around.
Well, we talked to who over there walking across town about the culvert, and nobody seems to wanna do anything about it, they don't.
So DNR seems to be the ones responsible for the stormwater runoff program. And with that, they ought to have some information of what's going on here. You're running right near the river, there's gotta be some concern about what's going in the river from all this.
Yeah.
If not, somebody ought to be looking at it from the DNR, in my mind. I mean, we've got them chasing us all over the place. Why isn't Big Ben under the same guidance we are, that you have to have
Well, I'm
a
gonna
plan?
read here what Attorney Macy said, because we talked about this for a couple of minutes there. It says here, the first step in the process may be to make a written public records request for the village of Big Bend, the Waukesha County, and the state of Wisconsin for any type of stormwater management plan submitted for the project. So, I don't want to say that Big Bend is known to skirt issues, but I would like to know if there is any type of stormwater plan out there,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
that we could look at. I mean, we'll look awful foolish, if they got one.
Well, they have to follow the rules like everybody else, as far as I'm
Right,
concerned,
and,
you know.
and so do we, you know, I mean.
Yeah, we do
I don't
too.
wanna go to DNR and say anything and say, well, we don't even have a stormwater plan yet. We've got the plat, but I'd like to see, they're gonna have to have a stormwater plan,
Oh, they have to.
you know.
Can't put a sizable subdivision in like this without a stormwater plan.
Right.
It's almost, you can't do it.
And we're gonna be, I would think that we would, ask Madam Clerk to make those, send those letters or emails out to those agencies to see if they've got anything on record yet.
Could we at the same time request any kind of a stormwater plan for the existing homes that are being built there now, or the existing 8 homes that, do they have any plans that they did for that, for the runoff for that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why couldn't we get that?
oh, there's all.
Yeah.
Because that one has no holding ponds at all, right?
Yeah,
Well, if there's an issue there.
Just rumors you heard, he said that he figured using the creek as a holding pond, you know.
I don't think they can get away with that. That's,
Well, we could raise issues on that too. If they're dumping their water on your property, you know, that's not right. Then another municipality dumps it on somebody else and then they gotta fix it.
well, we have discussions when a property owner even changes the contour of his property by putting some fill in, it causes runoff onto other property. That has a tendency to get our attention there also. You can't do it. You can't interfere with somebody else's property by dumping water that's on your property. No, I know that for a.
And I say, someone will say that, I've heard rumors, why would I have built by a creek, you know, in the first place? Well, 60 years ago, that creek was a creek.
Yeah.
I could step across it, I mean, it was, so, I mean,
Well, what do you wanna do, guys?
Let's send a letter off to these three and see what comes back.
To the county, to the DNR?
Yeah. And Big Ben, all three.
Yeah, Big Ben too.
Like you
Is
said.
that a
send them all
motion
out.
then? All right, is
I'd
there a
make
second?
motion to do it.
Yes, I'll second it.
Petersons have brought along some photos, which we should take back with them, but just so you guys have some idea, before phase one, and this was even done, look at the water problems there were.
Well, that always has been an area where it's wet, you know, it's so
no
close to the river and the elevation, the water runs to the river. That's the whole purpose of
We
it.
draw all the way from Saladin's Pond on down and everything from, everything on Henneberry coming this way.
Yes, that's been a wet area for, since the.
You know,
It went from
the town of Vernon can't
Who designed
dictate to Big Ben what they can do, but we can watch what they do and make sure that they do everything they have
Up
to.
to, up to.
That's about all we can do
Well,
here.
that's because basically at that meeting that night, the sister-in-law mentioned, she said, she called the county and asked if they had anything on this
Yeah.
at all. And Sonnenberg said, we don't have to do anything to the county. Vernon does, but we don't have to.
What's he, an entity unto himself or what?
Well, he must be.
I know.
Everybody answers to somebody, you know, and that's why they have bureaucracy.
Well, that's what, the DNR seems to be concerned about every time you take a shovel full out of the creek. They're in an uproar about it, you know, changing it, but they won't do anything about anything else.
Is this on your property, Joe?
Yeah.
You should, look at, you know, where the house looks without water, you know, and then you see.
Here, it's impeding the road.
Huh?
Here, it's
Oh, it's
going on the road.
You know, last time somebody,
It's gonna,
excuse me, last time somebody went to DNR about a waterway and it ended up being navigable.
Yeah.
They're navigable.
These are navigable in your front yard.
Oh, man, I mean, they got people with a canoe. You know, you tickle them and you may end up with something you don't want.
You want to take a look?
This summer,
We have another group that was in here
this is
complaining.
something that, I don't know, the DNR, who was, two people come in, they walked up the creek, they were taking a study of what kind of fish were in it.
Is that right? We just went through an issue in Millbrook Circle where the pond up there, there are two ponds, and both of those were considered navigable way back. The creek was never included. Now all of a sudden, umpteen years later, somebody questioned something and now the creek is included. And we had all the people coming in saying, what's going on here?
So what actually happens there is that 164 then actually becomes a levee.
Yeah,
That's what's holding the water back.
it's went over 164 twice now. It comes, actually goes over the highway.
Not a good levee because it's flooded.
But then it'll come, when it comes up to within about 6 feet of the house, then it'll go over the road. So then I'm, you know, saved there. But that's going on, I've seen Bill. The county put another lift on the road,
That's supposed to,
then they'll back it up that much more.
What would that be, John, 4 or 6 inches at least?
6 inches probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I rent the field that's just south. Or, I mean, I own it and I rent it to John Maney. And he's concerned about would it be the southeast corner of that field that he claims is pretty wet anyway. And he says if there's more runoff, that it's gonna, you know, start affecting the acreage that I can,
use.
actually rent for.
Yeah.
But I would figure that the developer is probably trying to get away with as little as possible because of the cost. So, the village is probably not.
Have you had actual flooding in your, not in your yard, but in your home?
No, it's never flooded
In
then.
the basement or anything? It's never had
Well, like
water?
two sub pumps running, and at one time I had an auxiliary pump put in, just to keep it down.
Well, it's a good thing you built up high.
we got a generator, and the one time, the fire department didn't know it
No,
was Donnie
I
back.
guess, working with Donnie at that time.
Came with a pump and pumped constantly, As it's coming in, you're pumping it out.
Well, by then building 16 new homes, that impervious service will be affected too, won't it, Joe? You'll have,
Hard to even imagine because.
all that water runoff from driveways and roofs. Yeah.
And these are pictures that were taken when there was no frost in June of that year. And in other words, it's not like our Meredith issue where it had a frozen ground with no water. So
Who was that?
there's August.
Who was it that told us that they said that the lawn absorbed it better than the field?
That was at the word,
The lawn, he told us, we said, the plowed field, and he said, oh no, the lawns and that'll absorb more than a plowed field. I thought, well, that don't sound right to me, I mean.
Ain't right. Well, let's,
All right, gentlemen, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some correspondence off to the Village of Big Bend, Waukesha County, and the state of Wisconsin for any stormwater management plans that they've got out yet, and we'll see what they come up with.
Cause he claimed he was gonna use what we call the sand pit, cause they started a sand pit up there when 164 was put in. And if he's gonna use that for retention, but when he digs it, it's gonna be full of water anyhow, because there was always water in there before, when
How high is it? That's high groundwater over there, within a couple of feet of the surface, isn't it, the groundwater?
yeah.
Well, that's the area that they're, according to their one map, and they have a soil legend, and the sand pit they have down as a gravel pit. Now, gravel and sand, doesn't it have a difference in how water?
yeah.
One's a little more impervious than the other, I would assume,
But I brought that up at the meeting, and they kind of looked at me like, well, what else? Hey, well, when you have a legend, and when you have different kind of muck and different kind of loam, I mean, some was a silk loam and some kind of muck, and I mean, it was very technical. And the sand pit was listed as GA or GP or something, gravel pit.
All right, so I think that's probably all we can do for you for tonight, to see what's out there.
Okay.
You're gonna be keeping, I would assume, pretty close watch on this?
Yeah.
And you can get a hold of Bill or me, or any one of the supervisors if Bill's not around, so don't hesitate to call. All right, thanks for coming in and explaining everything.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We'll be in touch. I didn't show, if those are the only copies I keep them. Sharon, is there a decent way to get good copies? We don't need a lot of them. If we put
Betty, would you be able to stop in sometime and I'll scan copies of that? When you have a chance? Not before the election, though.
Oh, good.
Do you want me to write them tonight?
Well, I was gonna say, if I do my turn tomorrow, I'll be fighting the
If we're to take a canoe across the highway, I'd say there's too much water.
Betty, leave them with me and I'll scan them and then I'll call you as soon as they're ready for pickup. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And then I'll scan them all to the board.
One like of the house so they can see what it looks
Okay.
like without.
Okay.
You don't
Thank you,
have
Betty.
to copy them all.
Thank you, dear. Thanks, Betty. You take care, dear.
All right, item B. Mr. Wolf's request to make installment payments to Digi project on merit. So we have a proposal here from Mr. Wolf. Let's see. I'm going to read what Mr. Macy says here. It says, "It's my understanding the property owner is asking if he can have the charges placed as payment over a number of years on his tax bill. The town board may be able to do so as a special assessment project. I would need to research the potential of doing so, and additional costs will be incurred for the research and doing the special assessment process. The town board could place it on his tax bill as a special charge under that statute, but that law does not allow payments in installments. And that is in the statute as a requirement. The other option for the property owner is to enter into a payment plan with the town to pay the debt over time, but that would not involve placing the charges on the tax bill. So, Madam Clerk, you talked to Mr. Wolf, and what did you come up with for him?
When I explained the situation, Mr. Wolf had made that request initially because that was suggested to him that we possibly could put it on a tax bill, but not knowing the legal ramifications. Mr. Wolf did not want to spend taxpayers' money on research because he is a taxpayer, and before you he gave a proposal of paying that in installments, and he's agreed to that. And I told him that if anything would come up, if something happens in their life that they need an extension, that he can always come back. But the proposal that you have before you is making those installments in 3 payments.
Okay. Supervisor, does anybody have a problem with that?
No problem.
All right, Karen, draw up the paperwork and
Okay,
we can sign it for him, or I'll
Okay.
sign it for him.
okay. I will do that, sir.
And we'll bring it back probably one last time so you can look at the agreement, and then we'll sign it and we'll have it in order for him. All right?
Yep.
Okay. Item C, street light requests, Hillview and National. These are from residents. Are there any residents here for that? Any residents here for that? No? Okay. So, we've got a request here for street lights. Another street light.
If I may, I requested Karen to take a look with the sheriff and see if there were any accidents reported in that location. Lisa Zelke from the sheriff's department gave us an email back. I ran a search, was unable to find any accidents at the location Hillview and County Trunk ES. So it's not based on accidents. She brings out a whole lot of things she'd like to talk about, but I don't think we want to start putting lights up everywhere around the town.
Well, it's what I've learned in the town here is people don't want streetlights, only a few. People don't want sidewalks, and they definitely don't want sewer.
Nope.
And those are the 3 things they do not want. And the only thing they want is a good fire department and low taxes. That's what they want. And their roads plowed in the winter. So, we can do a couple things here. We can just say no. We can go through the hoops and give this to public health and safety, get a recommendation from them, and then do what we need to do. Then it makes no difference to me what we do here, but my mindset is pretty much.
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead, Ed.
I'd like to make a motion that we deny the request. One leads to the other, and I see no reason for a street light there.
I would second that. And for discussion, we're already paying $331 a month in streetlight bills. And out of, I think it's 14 or 18 streetlights that we have, John?
20.
How many?
20.
20
I
streetlights.
got the list right here,
And to add another one, I have to agree with that. You know, there's no accidents been reported on that intersection, and there's really, I think their reasonings are strong, but I don't think they're strong enough to put us a street light up there for that, you know.
Yeah, that's $4,000 a year.
What she's written here could apply to almost any street intersection in the town. There's nothing unique about that I see at all.
I could have one in my yard with these.
There you go. You want one?
No.
Traffic
I'd
on,
like to make a motion. No.
traffic on our road has increased dramatically since the building of Quick Trip. A lot of people are, and that, I have to be really careful coming out, but you just have to drive a little more
Hard defense of driving, you know?
I know. You know, I can sympathize with them, but I just can't see the justification for putting
You know,
stuff like that. Streetlight.
Streetlights are more for a municipality like McWanago, where you have sidewalks.
Yeah.
Streetlight and sidewalks kind of go together.
Yeah.
We don't have them.
Nope.
Did we vote?
No. Gary wanted to talk. Anybody else
Yeah.
want to?
Oh, did you want to go to safety committee?
No,
I mean,
well, I don't think it's,
I told my.
we get the same response.
Thought so.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Vernon's response to Waukesha County site plan of operation and shoreline zoning. Put this on here again. We still, well, Madam Clerk can tell it better than I can tell it, because she's dealing with that, trying to collect all that information. Madam Clerk?
As you can see in your packet, there was a response from the town of Genesee. I'm waiting for the town of Delafield, town of McWanago, and town of Waukesha's response. It's my understanding town of Eagle, which had that huge legal case, has no problem with, I'm just waiting. We only have one response, so if the board wouldn't mind if we just get a couple more, that way you can take a look at what the other communities are thinking and then form your opinion based upon some of their reasonings. I think your reasoning and theirs are going to be pretty close.
It looks like the attorney basically recommends that maybe we could discuss this at our next staff
Yeah.
meeting. So,
Probably in January.
yeah.
Think we can get some more by?
Oh, yeah.
Should be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then can I make a motion to take?
You know,
this to staff?
everybody's tied up with their budgets,
Yeah.
and then we're moving into holiday season with all that. So as the election, the clerks are tied up with the election. This is gonna be a heavy voter turnout. So it's, staff is, you know, pressing.
Sure. That's
So,
what I think.
and I'm sure that's that way in all the other areas.
Yeah.
So-
I'd make a motion to put this site to a staff meeting.
All right, is there a second?
That's second it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I just,
So, yeah.
first of all, I still don't have a handle on where the county's coming from this. What are they looking for precisely?
For control.
We don't, paragraph 1 of this response, I thought was kind of interesting. It says most of the items, change of owner, change in signage, same size, interior remodeling, are related to the plan of operation rather than a zoning related manner, which I agree with. But if that's the case, then why do we not retain authorization to shut somebody down once we've approved their plan of operation? So I agree with number 1 here in the response, but I'm still not sure what is the county looking for? Obviously not just open suggestions. They want to run more efficiently, which I'm all in favor of, but I'm not clear on what we're supposed to respond.
I personally think bringing it up at a staff meeting would be much more fluent to you. So John would be there, you'd have a planner there, a planner that actually attended the meetings. So I think that firsthand knowledge of legal and planning information to you would be extremely advisable.
All right.
Well, how do we get paid? Who pays for a citizen or something like that? I don't understand that. The county's gonna pay us?
Yeah.
I have more questions than answers when I read what she presented.
Right? Does the county gonna write us a check?
In their offers, the county actually collects the fee, and then they would pay some stipend to the town towards the planter fees. Well, I mean,
But we don't know how
I
much
mean,
that would be.
they're wanting staff to look at it,
They could send
and that would be our
$10.
planner. Maybe
could run a big
return.
bill up on
Well,
this
who's
and
gonna
we
pay
don't
for that? And, there you go, you took the words right out of my mouth, Ed. They start running that bill up and the town board's gotta pay for it, and we don't know about it.
No, I don't like that.
No, we had years of that, which we put the stop to.
Broken in municipal agreement because of that.
Yeah.
So let's
I'd be real
wait.
cautious of this.
If we can follow Karen's suggestion, put it on the staff agenda, that'd be great.
Are they planning on implementing this, or are they just looking for input right now from the towns?
they want support from the towns.
Oh, they want support from the towns.
Mhm.
What if they don't get it? Then what happens?
They'll shut it down the road.
Then does it die by the wayside then? Because, or they just go ahead and do it anyway?
We gotta go to our members, our, county board members.
Yeah, I think that might be something we should keep in mind to lobby them.
We might.
And
Did they give a drop dead date on this of any kind?
well, they wanted by November 1st.
Whoops.
Well,
Missed that one.
But even though you saw Genesee's draft, Jeff Herman was going to make a few more points. And when Jeff is responding, he's responding for Genesee and the town of Oconomowoc. And the town of Oconomowoc is totally under shoreline jurisdiction because they have so much. Their entire town is almost all shoreline, so they really don't have a say in any of their own zoning.
Wow.
So.
Well, and that's what's confusing, like you say, they're looking for support. Support for what? I can't itemize 3 things they're looking for support on as far as specifics. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
should we at least respond to them and say, we'd like an extension
Or
to
consider
this?
it, yeah.
Because we don't want to drop the ball on this and say, listen, you didn't respond and here's what's gonna happen now.
How about if
I'd
I
rather say, listen, we haven't had a chance, it's a bad time of year to look at something like this, first off. And can we get an extension, maybe do this in mid-January, late January or something?
Mr. Chairman, could I draft a proposed letter for the town board to look at the next meeting to give to the county?
Yeah.
I can do a good one.
Just so that we said, hey.
We're not ignoring you,
time.
but, we're not gonna make a decision right now.
Right.
There was no motion on the floor, was there?
I made a motion
To put it in
hold
the next
this off
staff
the
meeting.
staff.
You could amend your motion
That's what
to,
I'm saying, I thought there was a motion. Do you wanna amend that to also include that, letter?
Letter, yes, I'd like to amend that to also include a letter to the county asking for an extension and some specifics maybe while we're at it as to their key points. What are they trying to accomplish?
An itemized
Have us
list
go
of
through-
what they're really looking for?
Yeah, and if they could give us a couple key points to work with. Sounds like these people made an assumption of what they were after and said, no, we don't want any part of it,
No.
I don't think we do either
Need
based
more
on what I'm reading.
Clarity would be better.
Yeah. Sean
Okay.
will probably tell us that in the meeting if we.
Would you read that motion back then, Madam Clerk?
the motion was made by Supervisor Ed Moline to table this item till January with the understanding the letter be drafted to Waukesha County questioning what are the key points related to this letter and also a list to the county as to what they're trying to achieve.
That does it, that's good.
No, that doesn't actually get us past our staff meeting's the 24th of January. So that won't.
Why don't we make it the end of January in the letter?
Okay. And let them know that you're going to bring it up at the staff meeting when you. In the letter, we would let the county know that we're going to bring it up at our most
Staff meeting, which
recent
is on.
opportunity would be January. We'd love to respond, but we'd like to have legal and planning, and I can draft something.
Well, something along the lines that our planner was involved in the meeting, and may be able to shed some more light on what the
Right.
intent is.
Right.
Because it's been a gray right now. You can work it.
Yep. All right, gentlemen.
Any more discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item E, establish a fee for brush pickup and delivery. All right, this is one that we had talked about during budget session, so I thought I'd throw it out here. And what do you think, gentlemen?
$50 brush pickup, $25 mulch delivery per load. And John, you got them at 20 minutes max right now, correct?
Yeah.
So,
Well, we all know that brush, if you got somebody coming on your property to clear your brush away, it's expensive. And we're doing it for free. We're hauling brush away, twice a year. And we're delivering it twice a year for free. And John's been keeping documented records of property owners that are doing it. And it's kind of unfair for the other property owners to have to subsidize.
Well, it's 25%.
Pardon?
25% of the town uses it.
And 75% doesn't, so that means that 75% are helping offset the cost of the brush pickup and the delivery charges, so.
I'd like to see two things. I'd like to see that cut down to one delivery a year. One pickup and delivery. Do you think that'd get too large? Would they all be hanging on that stuff and hit you?
Well, if we could get, monies for pickup and delivery,
Yeah.
we could probably not have to, we could still
Eliminate.
have to.
Yeah.
My question would be, how are you gonna monitor that or
Bill them?
bill them? Correct. I mean,
It's flat fees, so you don't have to worry about hours.
Well, the address is right out in front when you guys are picking it up. All the drivers got it, one of the drivers
Yeah.
has to take you're gonna have to figure out which one is gonna write down
Take a picture.
the address, or, take a picture on
I'll
the
have
phone,
the address sign. You better.
and that's it.
or what if they would fill out a form like
Well, they do, right?
building permit?
Isn't your address on the form, John?
just a form for
Delivery,
chips.
for chips.
delivery. When we go around, we just pick up whatever's out there, we
What if
don't.
we make them have a form for pickup?
In advance.
Then we get the address right away and we know where the billing goes. I mean,
So
why not?
That's a lot of,
could create a lot of more paperwork.
Well, it's
Yeah.
either they do
Clerk's
the
office.
paperwork, either the resident does or John's people
I
do.
don't see what's the problem with having the drivers.
Yeah, write it down.
We got great drivers. These guys are sharp guys. They're not just,
No.
Yeah.
Pretty
They
faces.
can all
sharp
write.
guys. They can get an address right, believe me. They're running a $200,000 rig down the road, they can get an address right.
Oh, we don't run the $200,000.
Well,
What do you think, John?
you gotta understand that, some people have a pile the size of this desk here, or some people have a pile half the size of this room.
But
So,
that's why you need a flat fee. You can't sit and make
You know.
judgment calls on that unless we're gonna put scales out there and everything else. Just-
Right.
It's a flat fee. Thank God for the guy with a little pile, okay? That's the best.
What I like to do is recoup I don't know, $50 for pickup, that seems a lot, because the truck is here and all of this stuff, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuel, I'd like to recoup for the fuel,
I just saw a few of them.
I mean, that's.
Diesel's not
fuel
cheap
bills
nowadays,
in
is
it.
it?
I'd like to recoup that,
Yeah.
At least
Part
for
of
the
it.
fuel.
How many, on delivery, John, how many yards goes out when you take it to a person's house? How many yards do you take in a dump truck?
well, it's a 5-yard truck, but we heap it up, so you're probably looking at 6 yards per.
6
per load,
yards?
Yeah, I mean,
And that's
That's a lot.
Remember all the flack we got for the, burning permit?
yeah.
We're gonna-
Wait.
Hey,
Well, it's something that's new and people don't adjust to change real easily but it's still their tax money at work. And if I was a taxpayer and I didn't have any brush pickup, I would say, Jesus, I'm paying taxes for somebody else's.
That's right, and if you don't have them pick up I don't do that, it's easier for me to haul it down and back and
burn it.
burn it up.
Yeah.
I had 825 pickups in the spring, And in this last fall, in October 1st, we had 717. So, I mean, it's still,
Yeah.
it falls always down a little bit lower anyhow, but you're, so,
You know, offhand, John, is there a lot of duplication between those numbers, or are they different people?
they vary. It's a lot of times the same people will have the stuff out spring and fall.
Depending on how many trees. and
But
stuff they got.
it does alternate, you know, it's, you're right. I mean,
Now,
you
what
may,
would happen if we had to, in the spring, storm rolls through?
Oh,
Trees
yeah.
down, everything like that.
Well, that's a different
I don't think
situation.
we should charge the people for anything
No,
like
not
that.
emergency.
yeah, storm damage, we don't.
Storm
No,
damage
That's a
is not,
separate issue.
is not that, no, I don't either.
What's I gonna say? We don't want so high that all of a sudden people stop doing it,
Yeah.
or run down to
Really.
10% or 5%,
Or come with a pitch and.
because then it just gets
enough.
too expensive to deal with. Then we cut it out.
It's very hard, I've tried in the past for other people to get someone over to their property, very hard to get anyone to come over
And pick it up.
a couple trailer loads of brush. Not worth their effort.
No.
So that's why I say $50 is not a big,
You got 1,500 people according to you, spring and fall. That's a lot of bucks, $50 a piece. I'm not trying to support the whole DPW.
Get some nice equipment with
That'd be
that.
nice.
how big a raise you want?
Yeah, things are looking good.
What do you think's reasonable? 15, 20?
I would say that minimum at least 25, but
Okay,
you know,
25 for
pickup,
pickup,
but I know
delivery?
Waukesha gets $30 a load for delivery. That's what the city of Waukesha is
Well,
charging.
why don't we do the same thing?
But if you do 25 and 25, that keeps it.
I
even
guarantee
and-
if you go to a nursery, you're not gonna get it for that.
No.
I just had those, like I mentioned, I had some gravel delivered, and it was $73. And they're right up the road from me. I mean, it wasn't a
Delivery
long
charge,
haul,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, $73 delivery charge. Could've walked it up with a wheel, except for 3 yards. I don't think that's outrageous.
Well, you're talking 1,500 people, right? Or
Yeah.
1,500 pickups
Rough number,
times 25,
yeah.
talking $37,000.
Covers fuel.
And offset the cost of the fuel.
You know, that sounds like a lot, but what was your, do you remember what the number was for when you looked at wages and all that?
Well, with everything, I think we're,
We were
It's
way
right
up
around
there.
70.
yeah,
Yeah.
right around.
So that's, to me, that's not outrageous at all.
Are you, would you,
25 and 30.
do you wanna keep both,
Or you wanna go 30
fall
and
and
30?
spring?
I would
or-
think if for easier, for the
Yeah.
clerk's office, it would be, do the same for delivery and for pickup.
Both.
Twice a year, or once a year?
Well, at twice a year, you'd be, you know, creating a little more revenue, and you could do it then.
Yeah,
That's
that,
on one line on the fee schedule that way.
but I was thinking of, if we eliminated one pickup, that gives John some extra time to do
The road work?
road work that we get behind on, you know, because of the weather or something like that.
Well, it's either charge the fee, I look at it like it's either charge the fee and do 2,
Yeah,
or
Drop one?
drop 1 and
No fee?
no
no fee.
fee. So what do you wanna do?
and that's a good way to put it, I think, to the taxpayers. Let them call and comment on either or.
We put that out as a question at the town meeting? No, we don't have to do it as a,
Were you planning on, coming to a decision tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
oh. You want decision tonight? I like 30 and 30. 2 pickups, 30 and 30.
Bill, what do you like?
That sounds good, 30 and 30, and, like we're talking, it's gonna cover the people who are paying taxes and not using the service. And yet it's gonna provide a service, no one's gonna get that for $30.
No. No.
Sound good?
Nope.
What do you think, Gary?
Well, the only apprehension I have is will this increase the amount of product that's gonna be put out there? If the guy figures he's gotta pay for $30 worth, he's gonna put out, you got a limitation of 20 minutes on time to pick up.
When that 20-minute was set, that was when we were picking it up by hand,
Okay.
because we were actually physically chipping it on site.
Take you
So that was when, now, with this grapple and backhoe, we can pick up, 10 truckloads in 20 minutes. I mean, it's pretty
okay.
efficient.
I wasn't
So
aware of
it's,
that.
You wanna put a dimension on it, cubic feet
No,
or
just
something?
leave it
on it?
there.
well, I mean, you're looking at,
So it doesn't get crazy like
Okay,
you
well,
said, you know?
I thought that they probably maybe put out more now if they're gonna pay for it. But if you feel that you can be picked up and then,
I'm not worried about the time limit. I mean, you can pick up quite a bit now with the grapple.
Okay.
So my concern is getting stuck with this pile of chips that nobody wants to pay for, and all of a sudden, there's people that want multiple loads now, and I've been limiting the loads because we had such a demand. I want to make sure everybody that ordered some got some before I gave 2-3 extra loads or whatever.
Question on
So-
that. Waukesha has that site for dumping off the brush and everything. Could we not take the chip waste over here and run it over here and dump it?
I don't think, I
We
think,
pay taxes to the county, and I could take my brush over there.
Yeah, but that's city.
Huh?
it's a city,
Oh, it's
People in
city,
the city
right.
that use that.
But we're entitled, I thought. No?
We don't
Not
pay any
Jay.
city of Waukesha city.
you wanna bring over a couple of dump loads
I get confused with
wood
Jay.
chips.
Remember how you felt when Karen said that the guy from Big Ben was dumping in the pile?
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
Pardon.
I don't think that's gonna be an option.
Well, that's
I mean,
a possibility. Somebody, we got a bunch of chips out there. They don't want them because they're $30. I don't want to pay the $30.
One thing,
We could run a special at that time.
There is companies that do come and pick them up.
2 loads for $30.
We could probably get rid of them if we had to, because there's people that come and pick up from the city and they have a overabundance. They end up selling them off to these wood chip companies.
They do.
Come with
Oh.
semis and pick them up. Yeah.
there's companies that will buy them?
Yeah.
Buy them from you? Oh, okay.
So
there's a way to get rid of them.
technically, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have enough for them to do, but,
Yeah.
I guess it's a trial and
I think
error,
we gotta try it, see how it flies and see.
Yeah,
what,
we're gonna, we're gonna hear about it, but
Oh, yeah.
we gotta do something for the taxpayers that don't use it.
Which is 75%.
75% of the people don't
The
use it.
majority votes.
I really like the idea of charging and for keeping 2 pickups.
That's,
And if the taxpayers are willing to say, we'll get by with 1, okay.
Yeah,
We
that-
don't have to charge for the pickup
They're limited.
or deliveries.
They are limited. They're not supposed to fill the whole road. They're
Right,
supposed to have a,
there's a size, yeah, and a pile.
they're supposed to be bundled. When we used to pick it up by hand, had to be liftable.
Yeah.
What was it, a certain diameter
Yeah.
bundle? It had to be tied. Now, I don't know, do you have to tie them anymore?
No.
I don't think so.
That grapper just grabs everything.
We've gotten a lot more flexible.
Take
Yeah.
a
Now, how would we,
Get the notice out?
yeah, what kind of a notice are we gonna do?
in the newsletter.
When's the first newsletter come out? next
Newsletter,
year? We're
website?
done for this year.
As far as getting input back, you mean, too?
No, I
That's what I'm
mean,
thinking.
letting them know that, put the form in the newsletter.
Okay.
The next pickup will start in May, so we have between now and May to try and get information out in
Probably have
regards to
2 newsletters before
two
me.
newsletters.
Well, if they don't get it, when they get the bill, they'll know.
Yeah.
And guess who gets the calls?
Make sure you get John's cell phone.
I'll have a target on my
He'll be
back.
gone. Give it to the clerk.
I'll give you a bunch of slips of paper with Tom's number on it.
I
Sound
don't
good?
have- I don't have
30.
a problem with that.
2 pickups?
Well, make a motion.
I'll make the motion that we go to charging 30 for pickup, 30 for delivery, with continuing the 2 brush pickups. As a test.
All second.
Discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Reluctantly.
John, just wanted to. John, just a question in general. Is there, I know I had to do this last year, I had a huge tree problem, middle of the year.
Yeah.
Pickup was done, so I got 2 grandkids that helped me load my trailer about 3 times, and you said, hey, we can dump it back here. Is that option generally open to the public? Let's say they do have a,
Only if-
not a community catastrophe, but say they've got tree blows over their yard or something.
What we've been doing is any storm damage, typically we would come out. If they can drag it out to the ditch, we would come out and chip it up. We just did one today, actually, or yesterday, up off of Scotland from last weekend's wind. So, and it was clearly a wind damage,
Oh, okay.
you know, but if they're cutting trees down and dragging them out, I'm gonna tell them, no, we're not picking that up.
Okay.
But if it is storm damage, it's always been the policy that we will come out and clean it up. So,
But you can bring the stuff and dump it, you said?
if we had the pile, it's because we had the pile back here already.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't
I'm not
all-
gonna take brush dropped off here all the time because I get people calling all the time. I can't sit and monitor that. So otherwise you're getting anything and everything dumped off back there, so.
I mean, it worked out real well, and I had 2 guys a lot healthier than I am to throw it on my trailer, about 4 loads or 3 loads.
That's almost in line with what we had for the offer from the garbage pickup company. It was gonna come back here and put the truck here, and right here and all. That was another option with that.
Okay.
We'll save that option.
Huh?
We'll save that option.
That's always a good.
Yeah.
What's 800 times 2
All right.
voters at 16?
Item F, 2019 DPW clothing policy.
They should wear them.
Okay, we're gonna raise, they wear clothes.
Yeah, they wear clothes.
Is it mandatory?
Mandatory, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on church.
Hey,
Okay, I'm sorry.
careful.
This
Okay,
is for boots.
these are for work shoes. We're raising it, to $200. Because a pair of work boots, even at $200, you can get a decent pair, but you ain't gonna get the top of the line ones.
No.
We increased this in the budget, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so all this is just a
This is-
continuation of.
This is policy and we're just increasing. This hasn't been, when's the last time this was increased, John?
It was 125 when I was a chairman,
Not since I've been
3,000 years ago.
Well, guys will appreciate this.
Yeah, you
I mean,
can't-
They can buy a better quality pair of shoes.
Yeah, you can't buy anything for 125. I mean, it's
Okay,
something decent.
200 is,
Got a pair of Red Wings is $289.
Yeah.
ooh,
And
wow.
that's the,
Steel toe?
yeah,
Wow, holy moly,
I mean-
I didn't know that.
you know,
Those aren't even a steel toe.
yeah, them are just,
That's just a regular Red
them are
Wing.
the cheap
That's
ones.
all my husband, that's not a steel toe Red Wings are probably 500.
Oh, wow.
You can spend a
Don't you guys
lot.
have to wear steel toe?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I don't buy Red Wings. Go to Walmart.
All right, so is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to,
Or first of all, do you think 200 is enough?
That's
what's
what
on
I'm
the
wondering,
budget.
based on what he's talking about.
Well, we can always revisit this next year. Next year's budget, if we,
it's a start. Okay, I make a motion to approve the Public Works clothing policy in anticipation of spending, allowing them $200 annually toward the purchase of steel-toed work shoes.
Effective 1/1/20.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Do we need to add the effective date on that? It's in policy.
It says it right, it says beginning January 1st.
That's what it says here, so this is good.
Yeah.
Item G, purchase of a pre-wet salt system. John, you wanna take that?
I brought that to the budget discussion. It's basically adding that pre-wet system to another truck, give us a little more, instead of just having one, we'll have two trucks with that set up on it. In order ordering that, they're out like 2 or 3 months on these, and we kind of want to get going on that. So I asked if we could get the order ahead of time. I talked to Max, the salesman. He's telling us we can have it by January if we ordered it now. So the other guy said he was looking at March, but he says he wasn't the salesman. He said Max has probably got other ideas for you, but there was one available that they were not using at the time, and they ended up putting it on Oak Creek and then getting that one. But so I guess just to get the ball rolling, just wanted to get that ordered and get going.
Yeah, this wasn't in the budget for 18.
No. We talked
Well,
about
we'll
this,
have to,
though.
we may have to make a budget adjustment towards the end of the year in December, but John may be able to squeeze his budget and get it out of his budget, so we just may need to just do a correction. So we'll have to see how the budgets, we'll know more in the beginning of December which way we gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's either coming out of, the
Excess.
undesignated funds, or John's gonna put the squash on his budget and maybe squeeze it out of his budget.
The total on it was $3,803. So
John, I only have one question. Did you quote this any other place other than Monroe, or?
this is the same place that we've got the other setup, and they set up our trucks. We've
But
just,
that didn't
it's,
answer the question.
no,
Or anywhere else?
we didn't look around, no. And quite honestly, I'm trying to keep everything consistent so that they're all operated the same, and you start
If you
getting
have
different.
problems, you can go back to it.
You start getting different controllers, and everything runs differently, and you can't jump from one truck to another truck and expect to
So
operate it.
this is a manufacturer.
Yeah, Monroe.
How much was
And
it,
if there's
John?
others, they're probably not compatible
3803.
with what you got.
Pardon me?
If there's others out there that make this, they're probably not compatible with what you got.
Not with what we have. Like I said, if you start doing that, then we have, like, my truck has a different control box unit on it. In order to convert that to these systems now, you're looking at 3 times the cost, or, I mean, because you gotta all the controls gotta be replaced and stuff, so it's not feasible.
Just checking,
Yeah.
because of the, we're gonna start pushing people to get some quotes and things.
And you do get brownie points for your stormwater management plan. The more equipment like this is,
Get some-
not that you get any
Right.
money back, but you get a lot of points for addressing stormwater in your stormwater plan.
John, didn't you say last time around that there was some kind of return savings wise on the system too?
Yeah, like I said,
Payback quick.
we're turning down the salt usage by 20% automatically by using this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right off the bat,
And we know those prices are going up constantly.
they just went up $10 a
So
ton.
you mean 20% less salt coming out of that truck?
Mm-hmm.
Crystallized salt.
We're using, instead of
And what is
600,
the truck using a year about?
well, we go through about 35 tons per event. We,
And that's how many trucks? 4? 5?
5.
5.
But then you
And-
gotta add back the
but-
brine.
Only 2 of, the brine is like 18 cents a gallon. You can make 2 runs with 100 gallons. So you're losing,
That's why the DNR likes it.
in fact, we have
Well, yeah, you put less salt out.
a meeting on next Thursday, that one in Cudahy,
Mm-hmm.
about reduction of the salt usage and the brine, and then
The more people that use it, and it gets out there, sooner or later DNR is gonna mandate,
Yeah.
50% of your fleet they'll have to have it.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
the way it's going, yes.
It's
coming,
gonna
yeah.
come down to it, and then what are you gonna do when you gotta spend $4,000 a pop? And,
No. I'm all in favor of this. I'd make a motion to allow John to go ahead and put a PO in for this thing right now. And we'll figure out how we're gonna cover it, near the end of the year.
yeah, the money's there, we just gotta.
We'll find.
Right. I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item H, portage on proposal for 2019 and 20 for portable bathrooms.
My favorite people, Porta John.
John, you want to explain
And
that?
they had 6% on, what's that for? Well, they told me when I called them last year, oh, that's our gas, our delivery cost. Now they call it an environmental charge.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me those quotes for the next 2 years. I think next year was $80 a unit.
Yeah.
The following year was $85 a unit.
Yeah.
I called 3 other places, and I've got prices from anywhere $200 a unit from porta potties in Milwaukee. Number one portables was $90 a unit, and $160 for the handicap. The portable restroom rentals in Waukesha was $192.97, and $313 for the handicap ones.
And they all charge that fee. That fuels,
Yeah, they all have that fee. So I think you're not going to find anything cheaper than this guy. He's a local guy.
Did the research.
His grandkids played in these parks, he said, so he's trying to keep us on a low cost. And he suggested going ahead with the 2020 contract for the $85 because the prices are going to go up. He said, and at least that way we're locked in for $85 instead of, he said right now the minimum basically is around $95. So he's already.
I'd like to bolt it on it now at 85 and let it go for 2 years or 2.
So it's 80 a year for 19,
One, yeah.
and then the following year
85,
it'll be
yeah.
85. So
Yeah.
I mean
Oh,
it's 2 different contracts technically.
Yeah.
One for next year for $80 a unit.
just one. And then the 2020 is for both years?
No.
At 85?
No, it's for 2020 for $85 a unit. So there's a contract for 2019,
That I see.
and there's a contract for 2020.
Okay.
So there's 2 separate contracts for 2 separate years.
Just out of curiosity, John, when you got those other estimates, and I appreciate you did that, did they quote you with delivery, or do they have a hidden fee in addition?
As far as that was, they're bringing the units out. I told them we need them for the parks between April to October. So,
And they said, we're adding so much, $10, $8 per,
well, a lot of these places, like the one in Milwaukee, was more because they got a mileage. They got a target, and they said, okay, you're out so many miles. They charge more and more and more. So that's why I called the one in New Berlin and the one in Waukesha, and they were actually just as expensive, so.
They're coming all the way from Germantown? And
Yeah,
to
these
Green-
guys are cheaper than you're gonna find it anywhere else. And then I called Pat's, last time we went through this, Pat's is from Burlington, same thing. You're not gonna find it cheaper than this.
Yeah,
I don't believe so.
okay.
well, we have to
Motion?
find a recycling method next year.
Something burning?
No.
But it smells burning.
DPW clothing.
I'd like to make a motion to have Tom sign both contracts, 2019 and 2020, for the Porta Johns at the rates on the quote. Thanks for the work on it, John.
Is there a second?
I'll support. Second.
Discussion? Any more? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Activity Center burn and fill, DPW Director.
That's what you smelled. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
The
on fire.
DPPAC's on fire.
I was just,
Working on it now, or?
I was just wondering if you guys had a deadline that we're gonna have this thing gone, or I've got a pile of fill back here that I've been saving to fill that hole in. And if we're not gonna use it, I gotta get rid of it before it freezes. So I got some place I can take it right now to either get rid of it now, or we're stuck with it till spring. And I gotta get it out there for a place to push snow, for a parking lot for the winter, so my you know, I was just kinda curious as to do we have a deadline, or are we not gonna worry about it?
Well, I saw the email from Kabaki, I think it was. You're not gonna make it according to what they're saying. I don't know if there's a way to push them on that. Sounds like you got a lot of prep to do to get this ready for what they wanna do for training on the burn.
Well,
Do we push it off the next year? I don't know.
Well, I personally, you know, if they wanna use that for training, which they do, I seen,
They do.
I was coming back from Waukesha, the city of Waukesha was having a training on a farm on XX.
Yeah, they've been training there for quite some time.
Yeah, and, if they wanted to have one here, it takes a while to put those trainings together.
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of an eyesore and whatever like that, but
Been here for quite a while
It's-
already.
to me, if they do and it gets burnt in January or February, and there's a hole there or whatever, we can fence that off
Yeah,
and
we
protect everybody from falling in that hole. And then, I don't care if there's a hole or not, and if John, you'll get more fill.
oh yeah, that's,
Yeah, we won't
I
have
just,
to buy fill to fill it in.
I just don't wanna get stuck with what I have here all winter long. you know.
Mr. Chairman, both the chiefs stopped to vote, well, not Alex, but they both stopped in and said that it will be burned in December for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by
But that's a
December,
little
you
late
gotta
for
go
frost
a while.
and
Yeah.
for.
I'd say
Get rid of the dirt.
Yeah, do what you need to
And
do
we'll first,
for
you know,
the
go
snow
next
removal, and then
Put it
when
in the
next spring
VAC.
comes, we'll
Put it in
deal
the
with it.
pavilion. Shut up.
We'll deal with it, no problem.
Yep, not a
You can
problem.
sell it to Big Ben for the dump site.
So,
Resolution, item J, resolution 2018-11, resolution to use unused levy from 17 budget for the 19 budget. Madam Clerk.
I did put a memo before you because when we spoke to Attorney Macy, he was concerned about who did you talk to, and in the email you can see that Howard, who the person from the Department of,
Revenue?
yes, who he talked to, and what she indicated is just to make sure that you have a very simple resolution. It has to be approved by 2/3, a majority of the board, to utilize those unused levies from 17 for your 19 budget.
What was that about? A was the line you were using, right? I'm trying to remember what I saw
Right.
in there.
There's a couple things I want to talk to the department in regards to new construction, you know, in regards to our levy, but the relevant issue at this point is just to have a resolution indicating that you're going to utilize those unused levies for your 19 budget.
Because it doesn't carry next year, they're gone if you don't use them. exactly.
No, they still remain in your contingency fund, but you should have by law a resolution that indicates at a majority of the board that that's what you're going to use it for, because you didn't borrow any funds in your budget for 19, but you were planning on utilizing contingency funds. Right.
Yeah.
So Howard wanted you to do a resolution, so I drafted something very simple. But just so you know, I'm doing more research in regards to that issue also.
Okay. So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to
Oh,
pass resolution number 2018-11 for the unused levy for the 2017 budget year for the proposed 2019 budget.
I'll second
Any more discussion? Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
it.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, sir. We'll sign it later.
Mhm. Here we have job description for the town clerk treasurer and contact for the town clerk treasurer. What I'd like to do is skip those items and wait till we go into closed session and then come back out of closed session and deal with those.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
We may, have some questions or comments or whatever, or corrections or additions or subtractions or whatever, I'd like to go in the closed session and talk to the person. Okay. We already did M. Item N. Border agreement with the village of McGuanago. We did make some changes. They were set out there. Correct, Madam Clerk?
I didn't type up anything.
No, I mean, I had it on the computer here.
They were listed in the email.
Right, we were listed in the email, and,
Oh. You mean
yeah,
okay.
we changed the one, 15-year to a 30-year on the bottom there by the subdivision. We changed up around Heaven City, those 3 lots for a CSM, and gave that a 30-year split up there. We got rid of the 5-year altogether. So those are the corrections that we made. So what I'm looking for is if anybody's got any problem with them, because you gave Bill and I directions on what to do, and we came back, and if you're happy with them, let's just, what I would like to do is, if you want to take this in a closed session and talk about it or not, but I don't see why. We had our informational, we had our meeting with the town members in the village. So, if you want to take it into close, we can. If you want to just say it's fine, that's good, because I'm okay with it, you
As
know.
long as McGuanago agreed to the changes that we requested, I don't think we have to discuss it in closed session.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I would rather
No.
discuss it in open like this.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of having an informational meeting again with
Rather
the
than question and answer.
question and answer period for the town of Vernon residents.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
One thing that I think turned out really well is the people, there were 1 or 2 individuals real concerned down there, one in Fairview Circle and another one of the parcels going back east. They've agreed, the village of Vernon has agreed, there's A2 zoning and A5 zoning down there. And they have agreed to honor that zoning for the full term.
No,
So these people will not be affected, right, John?
Yeah.
Unless they decide they annex in ahead and give
Yeah.
up their zoning.
Yeah.
So that's
well,
pretty,
they're set for quite a long time then.
they're set for a long time.
That answers the questions of a lot of the people that were there at the public
Right.
hearing. Resolved a lot of their fears in regard to what they were concerned about.
Right, and that's for that 30 years.
Yeah.
Karen, I just had the question, some of the emails going back and forth, did McGuanago misunderstand the E2, E5 because there were some other...
No, they said R2.
R2, where did that come from?
I think Bruce just got that wrong.
I think John Wydell had it wrong.
One of those guys, I think,
Because I told him I could send them both, but I sent him our A2.
yeah.
Yeah. So they are, we have it written.
Madam Clerk got it straightened out.
And I'll double check on the A, I don't know if that one category is an A.
A5
A5.
is,
Is that 7-acre parcel?
A2 is Fairview Circle, and then going east, that 1, 2, 3, 4 parcels to the east.
Are all
Those are
A5?
What about what the attorney sent, that little other parcel that was flagging out there?
That's in the village.
That's what I thought. How come that has just village border around it and nothing?
I don't know if it's, because the town of McGuanago was next to the town of Vernon.
No.
And I'm sure that's in the town of McGuanago's border agreement. Maybe there's a stipulation on that parcel, but that's...
Can you just ask them about that?
I will.
Yeah.
So what they're saying basically is they will take our definitions of A2 and A5 and adhere to those, so these people can't lose. I mean,
They can have their horses.
all of our lives in 30 years are going to be much different than they are now.
Well, that helps the people in Fairfield
Gave them a
Circle.
lifetime
Now,
warranty.
they were real concerned about them being taken into them.
Well, they have their horses, their animals, and
Yeah.
those are like family. you
Yeah.
know? It's like having, house pets, they're.
Well, that's when they bought the property.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And McGuanago has been, I think, very upfront with, what they're looking for. They're not really interested about the homes that are there. I mean, they're interested about them, but
They want the
they're
land.
not, they want the vacant land so they can
Yeah.
develop it the way they want to develop.
They're looking for business
That's the
growth.
carrot
That's fine and
for them.
dandy.
That's the carrot for them.
Yeah.
But
This is-
all through the process, I don't know, Bill can comment on it too if he needs to or wants to, but they've been, upfront and whatever, we talked about, we negotiated with them, and, there was a nice, back and forth, and, well, no, I wish we could really do this and really we could do that. The reason why we wanna do it that way, okay, but what about this and people, and it was a good dialogue all the way around.
I think that public hearing put a lot of things in perspective as to what people want and how to fix it. Because I think they're.
And I'm sorry to say, Carl's not getting his smelter.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl.
We promised not to
So-
put that on his border, right?
Do, anybody wanna make a recommendation or a motion to approve the changes, or?
I'll make a motion to approve changes as outlined in the email and the new map we received, with the correction of the zoning.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, any more discussion?
As far as I know, that was the only correction there, was a zoning issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would assume that their attorney's gonna redraft that accordingly.
Then you got
Okay.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right,
I'm sorry, who seconded that motion?
I do.
Okay,
Gary and, Ed and Bill.
I made the motion.
I got that.
Bill seconded.
Okay. Correspondence. I have. I have some correspondence here from the Wisconsin Historical Society about the cemetery. And with some cataloging and some stuff. And I'm going to give this to Madam Clerk, and then you can disseminate that to the gentleman. I don't know if we need to address any of those issues or not. You guys take a look at that and let me know if you need something or want something. I read it through and it seemed pretty self-explanatory. They're doing it, we're not. So, and then I also got this here from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. This is about their marketing and what they are looking for and what their expansion. There's a catalog here too. I'll give that to Madam Clerk. You guys can read that letter and do whatever just to keep up on that if you wish. And that's all I had. Gary?
I just had one resident inquire about the completion of Crowbar Bridge, because he said it's increasing the amount of speeders kind of through the Sonoma Park area where he lives. And he was wondering what the completion date. I talked to John, and John kind of indicated that the project should have finished up at the end of October, so I'm sure they must be getting really close to opening that back up again. I don't know what their date is, but I'm assuming it's gonna probably be very, very soon. Right, John? You're pretty sure?
Yes, I did, I drove through there today, actually.
Okay.
It looks like they're getting pretty close.
Other than that, that's all I had.
Ed?
Nothing.
Bill?
Nothing other than what we discussed about the brook earlier. So,
Okay. John?
No, I was gonna bring that up too, Gary, but
Okay.
I did drive over there today, and I think they're missing sections of guardrail yet. The road is open, I drove through it, I mean, they have the barricades up yet. But I think they're just trying to eliminate any excess traffic.
Okay. All
I
right.
think it's getting real close. I tried to find somebody to talk to, there wasn't a soul around, but I mean, they're all underneath the bridge, they were painting it
Yeah.
underneath. So they're just trying to keep it open just for, safety for themselves. Or to close, let's just say, so.
Is that it?
Yeah, if you want my report then?
Yeah.
The sentry fence we have up on the north side of the town hall, that's all complete, so I'm just waiting to bill from that. That came out of that park impact fees. And, between that and I ordered some tables for out there. Their shipping date is November 9th. I just confirmed that with them yesterday. So, we should be taking care of that. Meredith Avenue project was wrapped up. I met Paul Ambrose there from the DOT today. He was very happy with the way our drain turned out and everything. He says, yeah, it's all good. He's just hoping he can find the county to flush out their existing tile. That doesn't concern us, and he's gonna write me a letter stating that they were content with what we did there. So,
Good.
and then we will get a letter to everybody else, letting them know that we're complete and did our part, basically what we can do there. The Oakdale culvert was grouted on Thursday of last week. They came in and finally pumped the grout in there. We got the end pan put on that, and so that project is pretty much wrapped up. I'm waiting for a bill from the county for when they put that liner in for us, so I can get all this stuff together to send it off to the county for our grant money for that. And then the other thing pretty much is we've been a busy week just trying to get all these, or month I should say, getting all these projects wrapped up. And the brush pickup went well, like I said, and we still do have some wood chips out there. I would say probably maybe up to 10, 12 loads left out there right now. But typically stragglers will come in and take care of those hopefully for the rest of the year. So I don't have an actual count on that yet because we're still kind of delivering it, but so other than that, we're just trying to get ready.
So, what can we, historically, what type of snow events, or how many, and what type do we get in November?
Well, last 2 years ago, we got like 5 inches on opening weekend of deer hunting, which is the third week of November, so it's possible. Typically, we get hit first week in December pretty good usually, but so we're
So it's coming.
yeah, we're
I put up there hunting when it's 60 degrees outside.
well, right, but I know I had to stay back that 2 years ago because I had to work. So I mean, we ended up with I think 5 inches that day. So
Let's hope it holds off to December.
yeah, but we are actually getting the trucks kind of geared up for that right now. So
Okay, good. Madam Clerk?
Just briefly, just want to let the public know that the last day for absentee voting is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Polls are open on Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. DPW department and fire departments are getting the bays ready so that people won't have to stand outside if there's an inclement weather. So the access points are going to be to the side of the DPW department and the side of the fire department. And then lastly, just wanted to let you know that there is a public hearing from the Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission for the 2019 to 2022 Regional Transportation Report. We're going to put it up on our website. I did review it last night, not entirely. I just was more interested in Waukesha County, but there's not really a lot being done in the town of Vernon. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Next item is finance. Accounts payable dated November 1st.
Mr. Chairman, you forgot adding Bill for, reports.
They don't have any reports. You got any,
Oh, you
you
did-
got any reports? They back.
Oh, you passed, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No report, no report.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, this is batch 2018-1101 for $32,550.92.
Just out of curiosity, Karen, when you get the culvert ditch bond request, are those new homes that are going up, or what?
No, those are homes that have been here for a while, and they don't get culvert. I asked John to look at that because our audit's coming in before you know it.
Books a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay.
So John,
Yeah, I thought-
it takes
my gosh, there's a whole
several
bunch of
years. John has to make sure that all the grass is grown over, it's all stabilized.
Okay, all right.
Usually takes a couple of years, and a
So
lot
you
of,
basically just kind of cleared the books off of a lot of ones that have been sitting out there for a while.
Yep, they weren't in completion, and now John's gone out and
Okay.
done his final inspection.
I thought, my gosh, that's a
Yeah, I
lot.
thought so too. We put in that many culverts,
Yeah.
400, nice pickup.
Yeah.
That was my chair.
That, I only had one question, it's been answered. Anybody else have any questions? I'll make a motion to approve batch number 2018-1101 in the amount of $32,550.92.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Manual checks, Madam Clerk, are there any?
There was one for the newsletter for 700,
Yeah,
709.84.
yeah.
I would need approval for that, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I make a motion to approve the manual check in the amount of $709.84 for postal service for the newsletter.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Discussion? Any? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. October 2018, Board and Finance Workshop.
That was the one that Bill came in and made those few changes that I highlighted in yellow so you could see the
Yeah.
changes.
Move we approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye. Sorry.
Opposed? Ayes have it. October 22nd, Town Board and Finance.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Town Board minutes, October 23rd, 2018.
I move we approve.
Second. Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. October 26th, Town Board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, next meeting date, we will have the town budget hearing and special town meeting November 12th. That's coming up at 6 p.m. And the town board will be the 15th of November. Just a reminder, public comments, are there any public comments? We have a public comment, gentlemen.
Oh, good.
Please state your name and address.
Well, my name is Carol Thiel, and I actually live, my permanent address right now is in East Troy, but I'm here for my mom and my dad, which are Rivers, South 110, West 269010, Craig Avenue.
Okay.
And I guess my comments are, I thought you people were here to represent us with this village of McGuanago, not sell us out. I mean, what are you gonna do years later when you're dealing with, what, 70 families? With this annexation of McGuanago?
There's a 30-year period.
So you're
Before,
losing all that tax revenue. You will be, eventually.
the tax revenue that's generated in the whole complete acreage, the 2,100 and some acres, is a little over $32,000.
And I guess my second biggest question is, why are they have to be annexed to the village of McGuanago? Why isn't it like the town of McGuanago? It all comes down to this zoning
Towns
and...
can't annex other town property, I don't believe.
Well, have you taken a look at the village of Big Bend and the town of Vernon borders on a map? We have no agreement with them. That map right there, that is the town of Vernon border and the village of Big Bend border.
The white is
The white.
White is Big Bend.
And the color is the town of Vernon. Do you want that to happen on the west side of town? No, I don't. The second thing is with this agreement, well, first I'm going to say this, without the agreement, I cannot tell you what's going to happen in the next 30 years, period. Can you tell me what's going to happen in the next 30 years? Because I'm going to tell you what.
Joined to Milwaukee.
Okay, but with this border agreement, I can tell you what's going to happen in 30 years. Right to where that lot line's going to be, to where that breaking part is going to be. The third thing is, I know for a fact there are properties that are going to pull the trigger because McGuanago, with dealing with us and working on this agreement, put a moratorium in 2017 on all annexations from the town of Vernon into McGuanago. If we don't sign an agreement or get something from them, that is what the border on the west side of town is going to look like, and they don't have to stop at where the agreement is. They can keep going. The big farmers can keep selling off. There won't be anything left of the town of Vernon.
Where's your mom and dad's property at? Where exactly is it?
On Craig Avenue.
It's on Craig Avenue?
Now, we just changed
Yeah.
that in the negotiations that we had with them this week. That changed now to 30 years.
Before McGuanago will come in there.
No, we were
From
on 20 year.
Maple South,
Now you're the third.
all the way over to Craig Avenue.
That's an old map now. It's been revised as of
Yeah.
yesterday.
As of yesterday, yeah.
There was a town meeting discussing all this last week.
Closed town meeting.
No, it was open to the public. Question and answer session held in McGuanago. And we had a lot of people come in and ask questions. I think one thing nobody realized was that being a village, Mugwanago go come in and take any property they want in here. They can annex anything they feel like. We have nothing to stop them.
Any landowner can annex to a village if they're contiguous.
So, what we
So
try to
any land,
do,
see, I don't understand that thing. So any landowner like McCarthy,
yeah,
wanted to annex to Mugwanago because apparently he must wanna
Make some money.
subdividing, right.
Yeah.
but they have to be
Okay.
contiguous. They can't go from the middle of town into that.
Right.
There's some restrictions, but
And it has to make
Mugwanago is pretty
sense
free.
for the village, okay?
Yeah.
Because the village has to supply that area then with water and sewer.
That's not why.
With what?
But why?
For, to
Why
what
does
the
the village
people
have
want to develop.
Why can't people just have their own well and septic?
Because you need bigger lots. You need
You
more
need bigger
acreage.
lots to have your own well and septic, is what you're saying.
Yeah. In the town of Vernon. In Mugwanago, the lots shrink because they can supply sewer and water. You can, where, just as an example, say you got 10 parcels, you could put maybe, well, let's say 10 home sites on 10 acres, where we require 5 acres density and something like that, where you can only get 2 houses. So it's always something, the developer's looking to make money. That's what it boils down to.
Well, I knew it was money and
Yeah.
power.
So what we negotiated with them is.
Yeah,
We got rid of the
10 years.
10-year on that area and we went to 30 years. That whole area now is 30 years.
We were in the 20 year. So now we're 30?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Before you go, it goes up to Craig Avenue where it makes that little split. That's that 30-year block then, all the way from that subdivision.
Fairview
Subdi-
Circle.
The Fairview
Fairview,
subdivision,
Yeah, way down.
Fairview subdivision, over to Craig Avenue. That's all now 30. And tell it, Bill, what the Mugwanago said they were gonna do, and we haven't seen the actual verbiage on it yet. But what we negotiated is that the current zoning, they're going to honor that for the next 30 years.
It'll stay the same.
It will be,
For 30 years.
Yeah.
right,
Last week it was going to all be turned to ag and then individually rezoned as they felt fit. So now, they're leaving it alone. That's a huge
They
change.
basically have property that won't be in Mugwanago for 30 years. That's what it boils down to. Unless the property owners ask to go into earlier, that's the only,
right. Now, there's nothing saying with, a lot of those houses are 25 years old in there, 25 years old in that Fairview subdivision. Some of those houses are even older than that, in that area there. If they need water, or their well gets contaminated, or they want to hook up to sewer, they can. All they gotta
But
do
that's
is
Fairview
go
Circle.
and talk to and that pushes the trigger. And then they can go.
Does that push the trigger for that whole boundary line?
It all depends on how bad it is in there with the water and the people that are needing sewer. You know? Do you wanna spend, like the one couple said they just spent
Yeah, no,
$25,000 on a
septic.
septic, or on
They don't
a
want
above ground septic?
They don't want-
Or would you rather spend $25,000 to hook up the sewer? To me, I'd rather spend the 25 grand hook up the sewer, and my property just becomes worth double.
You know, there's a property,
See, that's not the way I feel. I'd rather have my own well and septic.
Yeah.
And not be under somebody else's thumb. And not be telling, okay, this is gonna increase, and this is gonna increase, and this is gonna increase.
there's a good-sized property right next to the gas station, trying to think of the name, right across from Heaven, not across from Heaven, so that's across from Hidden Lake. About a year and a half ago, we had tried to work with the owner of the parcel to keep them in the town. It's gonna turn out to be a commercial piece someday. They didn't like what we proposed. They called up Village of McGonigal, they were contiguous. They said, we want out of Vernon, we want sewer and water, they're gone. We had not a thing to say about it. And that can cookie cut the daylights out of us. All you
But
have
yet
to-
people in McGonigal can't say, well, I wanna annex into Vernon.
No.
No.
Why?
Can't go
Because
there.
that's where the
state
law, towns are land banks, basically, when it boils down to. You know, they were set up initially so villages and cities could expand outward when they wanted to. So we're basically nothing more than
We're low-hanging fruit.
we're out there at the bottom of the scale. They can come in and take us, but we can't go back and get them. you know.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
We
at
have
the
a-
meeting
we
about
have-
the
and
boundaries.
and-
Well, we've always had boundaries, and this is Vernon,
Yeah,
and that's McGonigal.
yeah,
And now McGonigal wants everything.
yeah, well, that's the nature of villages
Well,
and
you gotta
cities.
remember what they're getting. They're getting,
Yeah, they're gonna get a lot more crime.
well, a third of it is county and
Shoreline.
shoreland
Which we have
and,
no jurisdiction.
pretty much swamp area along there, which we don't have any jurisdiction over anyways, and you can't develop. A third of it is high water table, meaning if you have some way to dewater it, which sewer trenches will do, you can develop it, which we don't have because you mentioned, like I said, sidewalks or streetlights or sewer, and that doesn't go over very big in Vernon. We don't want that. So they're actually only getting about 750 acres of developable, good quality developable land. And they're willing, they're on the south side of town, and that's what they're, that and the high water table land, they're willing to, that's what they want. And they're willing to give us an agreement that'll say, we won't go up that borderline, that's gonna be the border, that's it, for perpetuity.
So we get the state.
The west side of town,
We get to go.
Less Big Bend gets it.
well, 30
They can come from
years.
the south, you know.
I don't know if I'll be here in 30 years, I'm 65 now, so. Joe says I will, but.
I'm not sure if you were here early enough. The second thing on the agenda was a discussion of Ripplebrook East. Were you here for
I
that?
don't know where that is.
Okay, that's on Henneberry and 164. That east side of 164 forever was in Vernon.
You know where the Papa Stash's Tavern's at? That tavern, Mill Pond Tavern? Right there, right, as you come right
Yeah,
out of
Mill
the-
Pond, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
Took
right,
me a while, yeah.
okay, right there.
The land on the east side of the road was in Vernon for years and years and years. Guess what happened? About 5-6 years ago, the village of Big Bend, someone who wanted to develop made an offer at an auction on a foreclosure, bought it, immediately called the village of Big Bend. I want to annex into Big Bend out of Vernon because I want to develop it. So now we're sitting here as a board trying to work with the people so they don't get literally flooded out of their homes in Vernon downstream because the water table's high. The homes are sitting up 4 to 6 feet above grade because there's a high water table all the way through. And there's an annexation, we could do nothing about it. Right now, they're looking some 33 acres to develop. And we already built 6 homes in there. This is the stuff we've been looking at as a board. And frankly, what happened with the village of McGonigal right now is, I think, a fantastic arrangement, simply because it will not disturb anyone who wants to stay in Vernon, do what they're doing for 30 years, including keeping that zoning, like Tom mentioned, keeping the zoning where we've got E2, E5, some people have large parcel horses, they can keep on doing what they're doing till that 30-year clock rings.
So after that 30 years, they can change the zoning and all that, but they,
Oh yeah, all bets are off after that.
We could need a lot of roads if we didn't put something in place, because like I said, they can come and charge you anytime.
so this is set in stone.
Well, it will be
I don't
if
have to
it's,
worry about this for 30 years.
no,
Yep.
you don't have to.
Once everybody signs, Signs it, yeah. Yep.
Do you have a copy of the
Minor zoning.
the old agreement?
Yep,
There's-
she's got
There's
the-
gonna be a new agreement. There's gonna be some new verbiage in the agreement that,
Locks up what you're saying.
well, we're saying, so it says it in there. That doesn't say it in there yet, in the agreement, but do you have an agreement?
The first one,
Yeah, okay.
Is changed.
yeah, it's changing. So
Based
when,
on what-
how do I get a new one of those?
I'll get it to you, Carol. I'll call you as soon as it's drafted.
So, according to state statutes, Gary described it real well before, we're, as townships, made to be eaten alive.
Eaten alive.
And if the legislature tries to change it, guess who shows up in big numbers? Cities and villages, because they have a lot at stake if they can't annex this. So, and they can pick us off, like I say, this piece on ES across from Hidden Lakes. What did we spend over 2-3 years with that owner to try to accommodate him? Finally said, no, we're going for stormwater divide. Lost the whole property. So,
The guy behind him actually showed up at that meeting. He owns a big parcel there. He was discussing what he wanted to do with it. He wanted to build nice homes in there eventually. But now the guy's gonna put these storage sheds in there. You're gonna see those come. The guy says, who wants to buy a house and look down on a bunch of storage sheds? Nothing you can do. I mean, it's a village opposed to a town. We're low-hanging fruit. We really are. So we did look out for the town as best we could. Any other questions?
So basically you're saying it's a done deal? Whether people sign a petition or got a lawyer or whatever.
You can spend your money however you want.
Why would you want it based on what I just told you? This is a contract we're trying to set up versus having just run rampant over you, which
You know, it's just like,
spend the money and they come and get you.
If we don't take and do this for the town, it's open season on the town on the west side. Developers, the homeowners there will get nothing. They will get nothing. And they will be just swept away.
Give you a good example, the town of Brookfield started out like us. They were 36 square miles. That's what a town starts out as, 36 square miles. The town of Brookfield right now is 2 square miles because that's all that's left of the town of Brookfield. They're surrounded by Pewaukee, the city of Pewaukee, the city of Waukesha, and all of them have been chopping away at the town of Brookfield until all they have left is, that's what could conceivably happen, not saying it could, but that's what the possibilities are that could happen to the town of Vernon.
There's nothing other than this document to prevent it.
That will stop that.
There's a greenhouse down there, and just south of that greenhouse, there's just a newly asphalted road of about, maybe a quarter mile or so, and that's where they put sewer into that farm field, in that cornfield, and they only went a certain way and stubbed into it. But that's, if you look back in the distance, there's a building back up in there, but they're waiting for them to pick the corn, and then they're gonna start grading.
Yeah, drive down
So
South
that's-
Main Street.
That west side of
yeah, over by
town,
the old King Ranch?
right across from the hospital, right south of the
Right.
hospital.
Yeah, King
Yeah,
Ranch
I
was
drive
right.
down there all the time, I go up and down there constantly,
Yeah.
that way.
Mhm.
That's gonna start being developed too.
No, I drove past that 20 times probably going down toward Uncle Harry's. And never paid much attention. All of a sudden I'm seeing these roads coming in right and left, you know. And I drove down one. They're building plants back. And this is their next industrial corridor, period.
that little old brick farmhouse, right where they're talking,
That's
was
the
in
old
the,
thing.
was in the town of McGuanago 2 years, a year and a half
The
ago.
old King Ranch? It was in a town, a while ago?
Yeah,
Long time.
I know the guy, he's a plumber who owned it. And
No,
he
it's not King.
chose,
You're talking that yellow,
yeah, yellow,
which is south of the King Ranch.
Okay.
King Ranch is north of that.
he decided his best deal was sewer and water. He annexed out of McGuanago, he got a good offer into the village. out of the town into the village.
Oh, really? That's how it's.
So, like Tom said, that's when you're gonna get your top dollar per acre is if you get sewer. And the town, we're all against sewer.
Not my wives.
No,
but
I'm not just for a
I'm
house,
just
I want my
saying,
own
never,
cities, I want my own water and my own sewer, that's what I got.
I'm just saying, never say never, because when the, you know, the money starts flying around, I've
When he
seen
talks-
people that said, no, 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 no,
Craig.
ooh.
Jane Craig was at the meeting, she swore she'd never been one. She was looking at this very favorably, the other night when we had the meeting. And she's one of the ones that in the northern portion of her land is high water, very high water. They haven't been able to farm that here, she admitted to that, she said, yeah, we got a lot of high water. But, she's anxious to see something happen over there too. So, and we got 40, two big property owners in the room.
It's good you came in, but there's so many people at the meeting we had last week at Montgomery who felt the same way we do. Let's fight it, let's do something. And legally, you can go to the state Supreme Court and you get shot down totally. The law's totally against townships. So unless that can be changed, and like I say, you're fighting all the cities and villages in Wisconsin, because they all like it the way it is. They can cherry pick what they want. It's too bad.
Anything else?
You know the property that is like behind that shooting, paintball? You know the greenhouse? The green, new one,
Where he is now, or where he was?
164 or over by the hospital?
over by the hospital.
Well, that's gone, he sold that,
Yeah.
he did
Right,
his county
now I
burn.
have heard that they're gonna be building a whole bunch of stuff back there.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody I asked says they never heard of it, they
I
never heard
think
of it.
they-
But yet I talk to people and they're like, they remember even reading it in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Hotels,
I think he was,
a movie center.
wasn't he, or he sold it?
Well, the village has been, if you really wanna find out, you should talk to the village.
I was there just the other day and I even asked the clerk, and she told me she didn't know nothing about it.
You have to talk, I'll talk to the planner, the clerk there
Town
wouldn't
planner?
know, but yeah, Bruce,
Bruce.
Talk to
Bruce
To the town
is the
planner,
one,
The village planner,
I
yeah.
don't like him.
You have a problem.
We can't do much
I was at that meeting a
Can't
while
help you
ago.
on that
And I can tell you right now, I don't like that.
So I said this the other day at that meeting, we as a board don't wanna give up one acre, one half acre. But we are between a rock and a hard place. Like Tom said, we either plan now for long term, or within 5 years, we can lose hundreds of acres down
Yeah, I just couldn't understand either how the village could come up that far.
Oh, they,
You know, to me, the village of McGuanago was the village. You know, like downtown, you know, so many miles or whatever.
Their sewer plant
So it's just because of the city sewer and water, that makes it the village.
is only running at about 48%, so let's just say they have 50% capacity yet.
available.
They can service the area at the 30-year end. They can, without an expansion to their sewer system plant, they can service it.
And they're planning to build a new water tower.
Well, I figured, with all the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, look at, on ES, they put all those,
So
Where are those
they're a
apartments,
community
condos?
that has planned well, and the reason they want it so much and want to do this deal so much because they can plan now. They know where their border is at 30 years. They can plan. And that's why they're willing to give up all of that. No annexations, no extraterritorial rights. That's huge for us.
Yeah. But they've been growing like maniacs. I lived in Guanago in '70. When we first moved to town, there was a sign right on the corner of National and Dublin. Said the population was less than 1,000. Take a look at it now.
we've been out here since '69.
Unbelievable. And we moved out for the simple reason it was just getting too crowded. So we bought it in Vernon for the same reason. Wanted to be in the town.
plus the taxes were lower.
Oh, I think, yeah, like 300% lower. No, it's, the best move we could make given the circumstances. I know it doesn't make everybody happy, but you can't please everybody all the time. And we're trying to stop what could be just a creeping takeover.
So anything else? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for taking the time.
Town of Mamaroneck should have to pay for that city sewer water to every house.
We'll mention it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, closed session. John, do you need anything else from us?
No, I don't.
Then you may be excused.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to go into closed session. This is for the litigation for Lucko Lek annexation, for the border agreement, and also to talk to the proposed clerk treasurer for contract and
Bye, John.
look over her job description. Okay. Needs a roll call vote.
First need a motion.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
All right.
Chairman Thomas Byrd,
Yes.
Supervisor Gary Wildy,
Yes.
Supervisor Ed Moline,
Yes.
Supervisor Bill Craig. Mr. Chairman, note for record that your board voted unanimously to go into closed session.
All right, we go into closed session at 8:03.